Hi guys, this is Nightmare3464. I'm going to continue reading Hoodie's love story, chapter 3 and 4. I hope you guys enjoy. Hoodie's point of view. I went back into the woods with Masky, only to find myself in a fight with Slenderman. It wasn't easy. He kept teleporting, so it was hard for me to hit him. He wrapped a tentacle around my neck and lifting me in the air. I struggled to breathe. You better have a good explanation what happened last night, he growled. I reached into my pocket, pulling out a switchblade. Fuck you. I stabbed him and he let me go. I fell to the ground. Hoodie! Once again he tried to grab me. I quickly dodged and stabbed him in the leg. You want to know the truth? I asked, very angry. Fine. I fell in love with her. And there's no way I'm going to let you take her away from me. I wasn't afraid of telling him about Rose. I wasn't afraid of him at all. You can't control my life anymore, Slenderman. With that, I turned and headed back to Rose's house. Rose's point of view. I stood in my room mostly all day. I couldn't stop thinking about what happened last night. So many questions ran through my mind. I couldn't stop thinking of the man who saved my life. Who was he? Why did he help me? Questions went through my mind and would never be answered. I lay on my bed, starting thinking, and then I heard something coming outside, but I didn't turn on the lights. I only had my window open. I stand up to look over to saw the man from the woods that was calling in my room. I was surprised that he went through my window. Why didn't he go through the front door? He looked at me and then closed the window. How's your ankle? He asked, then walking towards me. It still hurts. I replied to him, and then he sat down next to me on my bed. That sucks, he said. Who are you? You can call me Hoodie. Okay, I'm Rose. I know. How do you know my name? I know more than just your name. I began to blush as he placed his hand on mine. I've been watching you for a long time, Rose. I blushed even harder as he told me my favorite things, my favorite foods, places, animals, and colors. He knew everything about me. He even knew that about my ex-boyfriend who I broke up because he was cheating on me. How long have you been stalking me? Let me think. He chuckled. I learned about this less than a year from now. He seemed proud of his answer. Even though he was wearing a mask, I could tell that he was smiling. Why? Because I love you. He lifted his mask past his lips, leaning in a position, then placing his lips on mine. I hesitated for a moment before I knew it. I was kissing him back. I was slowly wrapping my arms around his neck, and he pulling him closer. In a deep kiss, he pulled away and smiled. He pulled off his hoodie down and took his mask completely off. I blushed at his face. He had gray eyes, jet black hair, a scar running through his face. He was gorgeous. You should get some sleep, he said softly. I nodded, then laying back down, he curled up next to me. As I laid my head on his chest, I fell asleep. Chapter 4. Rose's point of view. It's been 6 months since I met Hoodie. It took me a while to completely trust him, and I was starting to develop feelings for him. I was falling in love with him. I wanted to tell him, but every time I tried, something happened. Either that my neighbors were yelling at each other, or my ex-boyfriend who was trying to call me. It was like Mother Nature was trying to stop me from telling him how I feel. Another thing has stopped me that he wasn't around. It was getting late. I haven't seen Hoodie all day. I started getting worried. I heard a knock on my door. I walked over to it, thinking it was Hoodie. But a big unwanted surprise, it was my ex-boyfriend, Max. Before he could say anything, I slammed the door in his face. Come on, babe. I said I was sorry, he whined outside my door. Go to hell! I yelled at him. Can't we just talk? No! Get out! And go to hell, you bastard! Please, Rose. Fuck off! After that, it was a moment of silence. I assumed that he left. Checking the time, it was 10 minutes until midnight. Hoodie, where are you? I walked back upstairs to my room, going to bed. I woke up. It was still dark outside. I felt colder than usual in my room. I sat up on my bed, seeing the window has been open. I'm guessing Hoodie must have came in and left it open, or something else. Suddenly, I found myself being pushed against the wall with a knife to my throat. My attacker was my ex-boyfriend, Max. Now, Rose, I don't want to use this, but if I have to, if I will. No, be a good girl and tell me that you love me. Hoodie's point of view. And I thought the Rick was stubborn, I said to myself, getting through another fight with Slenderman. I came back to Rose's house. I climbed through the window. She was already asleep. I decided to go downstairs to make sure all the doors and windows were locked. I wanted to make sure that if Slenderman followed me, he wouldn't get able to get in this easily. Suddenly, I heard Rose screaming. I ran upstairs to see her ex-boyfriend pinning her against the wall. I pulled him away from her, making him fall to the floor. I pulled out my knife and started stabbing him. I don't know how many times I stabbed him, but I knew that he was dead. Oh crap, I just killed someone in our own house, I yelled in my head. Fuck! I know the police are going to think that she did it. I turned to see Rose if she was okay. Suddenly she ran to me and hugged me. I took a few steps back before this happened, so we didn't fall. I love you, she whispered. I smiled under my mask. I quickly pulled it off and looked at her. I love you too, I said before leaving in her to kiss her. We stood like this for quite some moment before I pulled away. Come on, let's get out of here, I said. I pulled my mask back on. I picked her up bride style and leaned it towards the window. Once I was at the window, I jumped out and landed straight. I started running, taking her somewhere not even Slenderman knew about, a place that she